Good day, Father Matt Williams here in my parked car. So we're on day 4 of Total Consecration according to St. Louis de Montfort. And St. Louis shifts us now from the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew's Gospel to reading from an excerpt of The Imitation of Christ by Thomas à Kempis. This book was written over 500 years ago, and after the Bible, it is the #1 selling and most read book after the Bible. Very popular in Christian circles and has formed and inspired many as saints. So St. Louis, in picking this passage of the Imitation, is really reminding us that how weak we are and how frail we are. And I was thinking of this analogy and how to break this open for us. Have you ever, in any kind of sport, right? Have you ever seen how a team plays when a team plays another team that's really, really good, and they work hard and they get up for the game and they defeat this team that might have even been better than them, or this really good team, and they defeat them, how the next game they play, and especially if it's not against as good of a team, you ever notice how is like a letdown, and sometimes they lose? They beat the really good team, but then the next team that they should blow over, they lose because it's like a quote-unquote letdown game. You familiar with those? I think we all are. He's kind of warning us in terms of our spirituality. Watch out for the letdown. Well, what am I getting at here? Well, in the letdown game, usually when we beat somebody that's really good, when we go into that next game, we think we're really good, and we think sometimes we can just show up because we've already proven how good we are, that we can just show up and kind of go through the motions and win another game. And St. Louis is saying, like, it's Christianity, it's the same way, that we have a good day of life in Christ and things go really well, that we can't just show up the next day and think that just by getting up out of bed, everything's going to go great and we're going to live a thriving Christian life, a way of discipleship that next day. He says, actually, you're inclined to be lazy and to lose your fervor and to fall backwards because you're so weak, And it's really true. If you're honest, we're honest. We are so weak. We need God's grace, but God's grace is so abundant, and He loves to pour out His grace. He just wants us to ask for it. That's why Jesus and St. Louis had us reflecting on the fact that Jesus says, ask, seek, and knock, and the Father, who knows how to give you good things, will give those good things to those who ask. And He wants to give us abundant grace and the things we need to live as disciples of Jesus Christ. So St. Louis wants us to know and understand by reading the Imitation that we're prone to weakness. And so he says this: if you could always continue to be humble and little in your own eyes and keep your spirit in due order and subjection, you would not fall so easily into danger and offense. So in other words, by that spirit of humility, we're always remembering that any good that happens out of me is God's grace in me, that I'm cooperating with God's grace. It's not me that's doing it. I can't just show up, but everything is a dependence on God's grace, and thus a dependence on the sacraments and a dependence on a vibrant prayer life. So as we continue on in our Lenten journey and on this 33-day preparation for total consecration, we remember that this is a work of God and that you can't do it alone and I can't do it alone, but with God's grace, miraculous things can happen through you. I can't, Jesus can. Lord, I give you permission. And when I do that, I can expect great things are going to happen today. So let's not think that it's all about us or that we're doing all this stuff. Let's not fall into that letdown game, but let's rather cling to grace and be desperate for God's grace today because He wants to do great things today. It's all about Jesus. God bless you.